as I'm writing it, I'm also thinking of it from a listener point of view. So I try to make it to where I could catch myself off guard. Like you wanna keep the story interesting. Like soon as somebody thinks they know what you're gonna say, that's part of the essence of rhyming. Is to keep everybody kind of off guard a little. So I take that and I stretch it with these different things. Like leave one word blank. Knowing that the listener is following along and will fill in that blank, like how I'm following along and will fill in the blank. But always put the word that you would least expect, or what they think might be there is not there, but it still makes sense in another way. It keeps the story interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like where you can match wits with the. It's almost like keeping a good conversation with the listener, where you can match wits with them. It makes it more fun to me. So I try to keep it as entertaining for somebody else who will be listening to it down the line, even, and like it really puts a sense of longevity to the record as well, to where you never know what the dude's gonna say, so you want to hear it again.
Hello, hello. Testing. Testing, testing. I think we're okay. Welcome to the stream, everybody. So, it's not going to be a big theme today, but as is implied by the title, I actually didn't know that MF Doom is dead. I didn't know. He died towards the end of last year. Nobody told me. I didn't see any headlines. Apparently, it was sort of mysterious and was not even communicated to the press for a while, too. Anyway, I really like him. He's a great recording artist. Just so much work. That'll just, I don't know, it's perfect for so many situations. Really inventive for the time, a big name in boom bap style stuff. In addition to his early career as KMD, as half of KMD, he and his brother. Anyway, the dude has a really interesting history to his career. If you for some reason haven't listened to his stuff before, definitely worth a shot. But don't worry, I won't be dwelling too much on that. Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up. It's not like I'm going to make a video about it, probably. But anyway, we will be playing Animal Crossing. I was just trying to think of like really comforting, easygoing games that I could have on during the stream. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm in the middle of an island redesign in New Horizons. So I'm going to just work on that and chat with folks as usual. And Doom here will be hanging out with us in the corner, so just check that out. We got our cat cam as usual. And yeah, we're just gonna go for it. We're just gonna have a nice time. Right now, we're hearing Domi and JD Beck's Mad Villainy tribute. I was thinking of playing some of the actual Doom records too. Like, I know we'll get a copyright strike and maybe a takedown, but also whatever. Like, I don't think just one of those would put my channel at risk, as far as I know. But anyway, for now, we got their versions playing in the background. And I'm also going to be playing some wonderful original Animal Crossing music from a guy called Scruffy on YouTube. He did this project where he made a full day cycle's worth of music for an Animal Crossing game that doesn't actually exist. So we will be listening to that. I wanted to mention that up top just because I'm not trying to steal his stuff or anything. I want to give him a bunch of credit. But I'm hoping we won't get like copyright claims for that because it's not Nintendo. Sorry, I have a chat here. Purple, hi Purple. Thanks for coming back to the stream. Purple says, this is kind of weird because not only did I just discover MF Doom a week ago, but has been recently heavily listening to him. Well, Purple, first of all, I'm glad you've discovered and enjoyed his work. At the same time, I'm kind of sad to be the one to tell you. I hope it's not too much of a bummer. I personally thought he was going to be just doing a bunch more work. I thought there would be. I just thought there was so much more he could do and so many collaborations. That was a huge part of his career, especially in the Doom phase and Victor Vaughn phase of his career. Collaborations. He did some stuff with Tom York, even obviously Madlib for the Mad Villain stuff. Danger Mouse, right, for the Danger Doom record. Is that what it's called? Anyway, so it is sad. He was relatively young, and yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. I have to switch the music now, but here we go. This is some of the scruffy stuff that I mentioned. Please check out his channel. He's doing quite well right now. He's gotten a bunch of subscribers recently. But he has incredible videos and really talented musically, and even the sound of his vocal, just his voiceover for the videos. It's a beautiful sound. I don't know what mic he's using. I don't know if he must have some kind of studio space, but the audio for the voiceover just sounds so smooth and warm and pleasant. I certainly am not really capable of that right now. I don't even know how he's pulling that off. Anyway, he does great videos, and he made these wonderful hour-long mixes of the different songs for this made-up Animal Crossing game. So I'm gonna have that in the background because for another reason, for some reason I can't get the Switch audio to stream. Sometimes this capture card just decides not to include the audio. It's the cheapest capture card I could get, so I'm not too surprised that it's not very good. Also, I apologize for the frame rate on the game because it is a little bit choppy in the capture. But I think we'll do it okay. I'll give a quick island tour, I guess, before we start really moving stuff around. But it's nothing that special. I don't really get too into heavily designing stuff over designing stuff in New Horizons. Purple says, what's your favorite song from Doom? Oh, yeah. It's a good question. I mean, honestly, I've obviously everything he did as Doom and Victor Vaughn, and he had so many different names, throughout his career. But all of that phase, the mask phase of his career, I like so much there. But some of my favorite stuff of his would probably be back in the KMD days. And their first album, which is what, Mr. Hood? It might be something with Mr. Hood. Anyway, the first album is so good. I mean, they're both really good. But in particular, yeah, Peach Fuzz was a really famous song for him early on, or I guess it kind of became that way after the fact. But Peach Fuzz is great, obviously, and yeah, off the Doom stuff, and Mad Villainy. Money Folder is a favorite of mine, especially the Fortet remix of Money Folder. I think is, really energetic and driving, really impactful. But yeah, even this weirder stuff. There's so many good tracks. It's kind of intimidating sometimes. Food, of course, has tons of great songs. But no, I really love listening to KMD every once in a while because it's such a different style. Even his delivery is completely different, which I guess makes sense because it was also coinciding with that persona shift. But yeah, really good stuff. Purple saying that my favorites are I Hear Voices, all caps, Rap Snitches, and Vomit Spit. Oh yeah, no, all good stuff. A couple Mad Villainy ones there too. In fact, I used it's not exactly a sample, but I used a little clip from Rap Snitches in one of my videos, but it was heavily pitched down. I just wanted to use some of that music and somehow not get a copyright claim for it. So there's that. At the same time, maybe it would be okay to play some of the music because I think a decent amount of his stuff in the Doom phase was released through Stone's Throw. And as far as I can tell, they're still completely independent. So they don't have some crazy, awful parent company hanging out and looking over their shoulder and doing terrible copyright claims. Because the first KMD record is now part of Warner Music, and they're very aggressive. They're very aggressive when it comes to copyright claims and strikes and that kind of stuff, at least in my experience. Anyway, which video? Good question. I don't know. It might have been in the Playdate video. It might have been one of the video game videos. I completely forget. Anyway, it's just one of the early pieces of music for like one of the title cards, right? One of the section cards. Anyway, so yeah, this is the highest point up here is where I have all the shops and I have the museum. This is my version of that one piece outside of LACMA. I forget what it's called, but it's sort of famous here in LA at least. And this is also the suburbia for my villagers. I think we still have an open spot. Oh no, that guy took it. Okay. But otherwise, yeah, just pretty basic stuff. A lot of flowers. Not many of them are on purpose. Oh, there's an empty spot. Someone moved. Yeah. I think I had a hippopotamus woman who moved. Yeah. Anyway, we got two sets of steps down here. This is the dump, actually. This is lovely, I think. Got our trash and cardboard couch, which is very comfortable. I just throw all the trash here. I let the weeds, actually I've transplanted a lot of weeds to stay over here. Some fish, it's pretty great. But yeah, that's the bottom right corner of the island. And then this middle space where we have the, whatever they call it, town center, town hall thing. I used to do a lot here and tried to really design it, but since then, I just have not. I used to have like a playground here, and then we have our pumpkin patch, of course. But it's pretty uninteresting. This used to be a park, and I've started to clear it out because I really want to start with kind of a clean slate. It won't end up being that clean of a slate. Here's a campground. Oh, hold on. Gotta get that. Oh no. I don't have a... See, this is why you keep slingshots. You keep multiple slingshots. Oh, I have a slingshot. What? Why didn't that come up? Now it's probably gone. Where's the balloon? Oh, I can't shoot it over there because it'll hit the wood, right? Let's try. Let's see what we get. Hey, it didn't disappear. Okay. Oh, I have 2 packages. What is this? Oh, I'm now realizing that my border is getting in the way, so I'm going to switch it off. Jack's portrait, that's a pumpkin man. He gave us a portrait, apparently. That's cool. I'm sure it's awesome. And then this balloon, what's this? Protein shaker bottle. I feel like I already have one of those. And I don't care. Anyway, up here is a hodgepodge. I tried to make like a hangout spot up here. We got some music going that you can't hear. Got our fireplace. There's some lounge chairs, a little waterfall thing, a tub for some reason. Then we have like an outdoor theater here. We got the projector. Got some seats lined up. We have our little screens. So yeah, but I don't know. I'm just tired of most of this, and I kind of started getting back into playing Animal Crossing lately. So I figured, why not shake things up a bit here? This is where I've started to raise the terrain. This is all done somewhat recently. And I guess there's one other kind of nice thing I could show off here. And I kind of want to keep it, but I'm not sure whether that will happen. It's kind of like a nice little hideaway spot. I put my turtle here. There's some beds. Maybe it could be like another campground for visitors, you know what I mean? But I like it. I kind of want to keep it here, but it does take up a bit of space. I also probably want my house to be up on the 3rd level, like the highest elevation. I used to have it that way, then I thought this little hideout kind of nook thing would be great. Not a huge fan of it now. Purple says Cat Cam and MF Doom Cam could form a group called CMD, C standing for Cat. I could be down for that. In fact, it would be fun to not Photoshop, but like edit Cat Cam into Doom videos somehow. Not to be disrespectful in any way, but just like Cat could be there in the background, you know? I just want to check what clothes they have here. That's all I'm doing right now. You're welcome, Sable. My character's named Tamitha. And I used that name because I didn't think it was a real name that people have. But since then, since early 2020 when this came out, I've come to think that it is a real name. It sounds so natural to me. So it's kind of confusing, actually. But yeah, we definitely need a nice new outfit for the stream, you know? We just won't be able to keep our hat because we got to wear the construction. Oh, this with the leggings is kind of fun. But should it be that khaki color? Yeah, that's probably the best one. Oh, but we have jugoris? What is that? It must be some sort of traditional Japanese dress, right? That's kind of fall colors. All right. Oh, but we got the shirt dresses. This is a pretty good batch of new clothes, I think. Yeah, that's not too bad. Don't want that. Nope. No, thank you. Bobby socks. Any good shoes? No, lots of the same. I think I already have some moccasins, but yeah, why not? Yeah. Yes, please. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Mabel. I appreciate that. Purple has a question. Have you seen the video when a guy deadlifts 500 pounds dressed as Jotaro Kujo? I haven't. I also don't know who that is. I assume it's a fictional character, so it's like a cosplay weightlifting thing. I am not familiar with that video, but thank you for mentioning it. I'll have to put a reminder here for myself. Actually, I kind of want like a dish rack, drying rack. Yeah. 530 bells, that's nothing. That's nothing. We're good to go. Okay. What is in the cabinet? Got a pumpkin start. Do I need any more? I feel like I need another fishing rod just in case. Yeah. Thank you. No, I think we're good. I want to keep my inventory relatively empty so that I can grab as much stuff as possible when I need to clean up, because unfortunately you can't just destroy flowers as far as I can tell. It'd be really nice if you could. Oh. Purple says, you're telling me you never watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Oh, okay, so it's from JoJo. No, I think I watched the first episode at some point, and it was fine. I just wasn't ready. This was like a couple months ago, but I wasn't ready at that point to start a new show. So I just kind of went, nah, I'm good. You know, I have heard it's like one of the best ever. So I'll probably watch it eventually. But at least, yeah, for the time being, probably not. Probably not. Probably gonna stay away from it for a while, just because it's so much. It's so much. What are there like 40 episodes per season or something, or per part, whatever they call it? That's so much time. So much time. Which is, it's obviously not a big deal when you're really swept up in the story. But otherwise, it's, I don't know. I feel like it really can feel like a commitment. I'm gonna demolish something here too, or request demolition of a ramp or something that'll be done by tomorrow. Hello, infrastructure. What did I have in mind? Yes, bridges, inclines. Let's demolish something. Yes. I think it's going to be... I think I should get rid of this incline here. Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. This is just, you know, early planning, but we're going to try it. We're going to see if it works. Yes. Some of these menus, I have some problems with these menus in the game, but it's okay. We don't need to get into that. All right. I think we're good to go. Also, something that I didn't know about this game for a long time. I didn't know you can just throw stuff away if you have like a garbage can or something. I thought they were just decorative. I thought you had to sell everything, but after a while you don't care about earning bells, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, so I just bring around this. Oh, do I not even have it? Oh, I don't have it with me. It's around here somewhere, but I have a garbage can that I'm just going to carry around. I can just throw stuff out. Where is it? Oh, now I gotta find this thing. I guess I could grab one from the dump, right? Let's do it. Or maybe it's over here. No, I don't see it anywhere. Okay. Okay, I wish there was also like a portable selling box. That would be great, so you don't have to go to just one place. Oh, hi, Deirdre. Hello. Hello. This is my dear friend. What? I was just here. Okay. What's up? She's one of my favorite ones. I'll give her one of these things so I don't have to throw it away. I will give her the protein shaker bottle. There it is. Yes. Do I get something back? Oh, I got a book. Just one book. Thank you. Thank you very much. Where's the garbage can? Here's one. Yes. I'm gonna get rid of Jack's portrait and one of these roses, other plant. Yeah, that's enough. No, but I do want to pick it up like that. Okay, cool. Here we go. Gonna work on some things. Yes. And you know what? Since these songs from Scruffy are an hour long each, I think I'll move to the next one now, because I think this is still the first one. Yeah. Let's try 7 a.m. What does this sound like? Those are the bells. I don't need the bells. Here, how's this? Oh. Okay. I can live with that. Okay. There we go. I think we're all organized now. Okay. Yeah, let's fill in all this water. It's just getting in the way right now. No, I need to do my special hat. Yes. Oh, we got somewhere in the chat. Purple says, how did you get into MF Doom? If you already mentioned this, sorry. I got into him with a meme animation. That's very interesting. I did not get into him through a meme. Exactly. No, a long time ago. I just, yeah, friends who listen to different stuff. It was probably just a friend of mine was really into food, or possibly Mad Villainy, since that's definitely one of the most famous ones and most well-liked albums, I think. So there was that, and it was a long time after that. This is years ago, of course, but it was a long time after that someone even mentioned KMD to me, and then I did my digging and found that there was a very clear Doom connection. So yeah, it was just that, just friends who listened to different stuff or were into boom bap. Yeah, that was pretty much it. So from there, I just kind of explored it myself. And yeah, I've obviously really enjoyed what I found. I don't want to keep jumping over the river. And there was some art, I wish I could find it. I should have tried to find it before the stream started. But there was there's a really good feature article. I was maybe in the Atlantic. See, I didn't look for it. I read it a long time ago. But basically, it was just this journalist just hung out with Doom for a couple days, basically, and saw some of his process and just kind of talked to him for a long time. got to look through his rhyme book and everything, and that was great. I really loved that article, which is why I wish I could specifically recommend the publication or the headline or something. But I didn't manage to do that ahead of time, so sorry, but maybe I'll try to find it posted in a comment or something. But that's a great read. Also, as much as I, don't really want to say it, the clip we're currently watching is from his big interview with the Red Bull Music Academy, which I think is like an hour long, maybe an hour 40 minutes long. And they did these with a few artists quite a while ago. They're okay. Like they don't seem to have the best interviewers, and it's kind of a weird vibe because it seems like everybody's trying to act like as quiet and cool as possible, which I find kind of hurts the overall vibe. It's sort of strange. I also hate audience Q&As in like this kind of stuff where they're talking to famous people. Kind of hate it. But anyway, if you're interested in like hearing him talk about stuff, I think that video is very good. It's very good for that. I think it's pretty good. Probably one of the longest videos he's done, or the longest like interviews rather. But it's great. Certainly one of the longest in video form. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. There aren't many videos of KMD performing live. There's one or two pretty good ones on YouTube, but those are fun too. It's definitely early '90s, very different feel in terms of the shows and everything and their performance style. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty darn good. Okay. This is something. Look at this nice little catwalk. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't mind a natural bridge like this. So if you had like a big water divide, I feel like the catwalk's kind of neat. Maybe we can integrate that. Like not right here, but yeah, it's kind of neat. I guess it would be weird in the way that it... Oh! I still get very excited about the... Why doesn't the darn thing... Okay. I think I have to manually... where is it? Oh, this is going to be tricky. Anyway, Purple, sorry, you mentioned getting into his stuff through meme anime. What was it? Was it like a specific video? Was there a specific like meme going around of him? Let me know, but I'm not, if there is, I'm not familiar with it. But yeah, it's certainly an interesting way to find a new artist, Here, do I put this favorite? Yes, you go here. Thank you. Okay. I need to get this back, please. Thank you. I like this track too from Scruffy, but yeah, the whistling I think makes it like it's almost a little too distinctive for something that repeats, so often. At least that's my feeling on it. It's very good though. It's very well arranged and everything, and it just sounds like actual Animal Crossing music. So I'm very impressed with the efforts for sure. Yeah, this lag on the capture card makes things a little bit more tricky, but it's fine. It's fine. There you go. Okay. Oh, it's very satisfying to do the terraforming in this game. When I first got it, I was working so hard to get to this stage. You kind of have to unlock the terraforming, but I just knew that that was going to be the majority of what I wanted to do in the game. So I was really working hard, looking at the guides and stuff, seeing just what I needed to do. Takes a good while too, like you really got to put your time in. Okay. Yeah, let's try the next track. This is 8 a.m. from Scruffy's Animal Crossing Taking Root playlist music composition. And I forgot I have tea, so I'm gonna drink some more tea now because I feel like it's really good weather for tea, personally. We got rain the other day for the first time in a very long time here in LA. And not only that, but we had thunderstorms, which is exciting because I really like thunderstorms. But they are incredibly rare out here, at least in my experience. So that was great, and it certainly felt like, oh, this kind of feels like fall. You know, we got our rain, it's a bit cooler out. The humidity is, but yeah, it was still very nice. So I was pretty excited about that. Yeah. Just slow and steady. Just this fish is gonna have to find some kind of underwater underground tunnel to work through here. Yeah. Oh, Hugo's here. Hello, Hugo. Thank you for joining us. How's it going? Hugo says, in the game, I just made a flat island and planted a tree orchard. That's kind of what I had like as a default towards the beginning. Especially because in the early game, like just having a bunch of fruit to sell, especially a non-native fruit, is a pretty decent way to make some money. So you get, you know, the fruit from other islands or fruit from your friends and just plant a bunch of trees. You can make some money from that. So I did that for a while. I also had like kind of a pine tree forest by my house, so it would be kind of hidden. I don't know why I like the idea of a hidden house, but I guess I do. Anyway, so I just got annoyed with it. I got annoyed that I couldn't see anything when it dropped to the ground. Especially since you can, like, you know, get valuable stuff from shaking trees, but you can also get the bees, and if you can't see where the bees are, it makes it a lot harder to catch them with your net. It was just too much. Yeah, so anyway, I don't have strong ideas for this. I'm trying to, I think maybe like a somewhat natural looking hillscape. So I want most of the island, or at least a very large portion of it, to be at the highest possible elevation. And then I'm not crazy about like the second level elevation. It feels in between, so I'm not crazy about it. Anyway, so but there's a lot of boring work to be done before I do the actual planning. So that's what I thought would be entertaining, is just the mundane, slow, steady. In fact, I bet if you played this footage back at higher speed, it would be very satisfying, because it would be like a time lapse and you get to see things happen very quickly. I love doing that kind of stuff. Hugo says, I'm doing good, and yourself? Oh, I'm glad to hear you're doing good. Thank you for asking. I'm doing fine. Yeah, I have been very tired this week, so I apologize that the stream setup isn't quite as elaborate as last time, maybe not quite as creative. But like I said a bit earlier on, I wanted something more comfortable and relatively easy to set up. So this has been okay. I don't think I've tried the capture card for the Switch on the stream before. Wow, this aim. Oh my gosh. So I'm glad it's working okay. You know, the quality's not the best, but yeah. And I guess I will say, I don't know, I'm not trying to share just like a personal thing, but I will mention that there's a chance that in a few months' time I'll have much better internet, which is very exciting to me, because my internet right now is absolute garbage. It is very, very bad. I'm paying for a plan that's like, I don't know, max speed, 50 megabytes per second download speed. Never have that. In fact, I think it came up the other week, like that the stream just kind of died after a while and there were a ton of technical issues. But yeah, I have a hunch that a lot of that was the internet connection. And my speeds here are absolutely awful. My download speed, like the fastest I've ever had, is like 1.2 megabytes per second, as opposed to the 50 or 100 that a lot of modern society has. And my upload speed, which is the most important thing for streaming, is 700 kilobytes per second, so not even 1 megabyte per second. And it is trash for streaming, so you can't stream it at high resolution, you can't stream your audio at a high bit rate. You have to really really be frugal in how you divide up your resources, your internet resources there. So anyway, so there's a good chance that I'll have better internet in the somewhat near future, which would be very exciting. I think it would be fun to stream at a higher quality, maybe do some more involved stuff. Come on, lady, just fill in the water. There we go. Hugo says, on my island is fruit trees from all the 5 fruits. That's the only way you can tell what part of the island you're in. Oh, okay, so it's kind of coded or separated off. If you harvest all the fruit, you get about 1.2 million coins. Wow, that is quite a bit. Although it does, I guess it is a bit time consuming to, harvest that much fruit and sell it off all the time. But that's pretty good. Yeah, I never got too big into getting tons of money in the game. I didn't do the turnip thing for that long. But yeah, don't really need it anymore after paying off the house, you know what I mean? Hugo says, wait, did you say that you have 1.2 megabytes? Yeah, that's the fastest I've seen, is like 1.2 megabytes per second or 1.3 megabytes per second for the download speed I have here. Most of the time it's actually a little bit slower than that, so it's maybe closer to just 1 megabyte. It is not great, but yeah, basically everyone else I know, if I'm ever on their Wi-Fi, it is many times, like maybe 10 times faster, maybe even more than that. And that's just standard for most places. I have some guesses as to why mine is so bad. But I think one of the biggest reasons is that I'm in a very old building. The building I live in is about 100 years old. And so, for one thing, the walls are much thicker, which can make it harder to transmit the signal and stuff, as I understand it. And there are a lot of other people close by, of course, because it's a city, so other people are on the same network and using that data too. And yeah, on top of that, I'm sure that the cables they have in here for the internet service are already old as well. Not as old as the building, of course, but yeah, so it's not great. But Hugo says, I have 100 megabyte download, I assume, and then 10 megabit upload. Pay about 60 a month, and just cam, and I can update to that, but don't feel like changing the ISP. Gotcha. Yeah. No, see that, and I think that's a lot more common. Yeah, just like modern day fast speeds. A lot of people don't have trouble getting those, but yeah, for whatever reason, it's been terrible here. Absolutely terrible. So it's a bit of a shame, but we'll get there. We'll get there sometime. But yeah. Anyway, so there we go. Oh wow, they're really throwing these at me, huh? Pop. There it is. Look at that. Get rid of the slingshot. Let's check our present right away, of course. What is it? It is a digital scale. I think I already have one of those. I don't want that. Where's my garbage can? Place item. Gonna dig up some of these flowers and get rid of them. Purple says, good night, CMG Cat, NF2, and Lobotomy. Good night, Purple. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Yeah, sorry it's been kind of low-key today, but I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a pretty good time. Anyway, yeah, hopefully we'll see you next time. I know it's a bit late for you where you are, so totally cool. These flowers, it takes so long. It takes such a long time. Because in the original game, if you just ran through them enough, they were gone. They were just away. You would destroy them. And I get, like, not wanting to kill them by accident. But in here, yeah, if you run over them too much, they just lose their bulbs, their blossoms, which grow back in a couple days. So, yeah, but I do kind of wish they would just disappear. Here we are. guess it's, yeah, I think it's probably about time to change up the music again, too. I kind of want to go through the whole playlist, you know. I at least want a sample of each one of the songs. Here, it's up in this tab. This is, which one is this? 8 a.m.? No, 9 a.m. Really moving along now. Interesting. I'm hearing some influence from the original Animal Crossing game for sure. Which I guess I may as well mention. Yeah, I was big into the original Animal Crossing game on the GameCube. I know it was technically released in Japan on the N64. It was kind of just an N64 game in terms of quality and everything and build. But yeah, me and some of my siblings played the original Animal Crossing game on the GameCube quite a bit, as people tend to do if they're really into it. Like it just happens. It's really rough. But you just lose a lot of time to these games. It feels great at the time, doesn't it? It feels really fun and you feel productive even though it's all made up. Do I have any more room in my pockets? Yeah, I just gotta, I'll sell or throw out some of these flowers soon enough. Hugo says, it's not like you live in some country. Back when I worked for Verizon, there was a guy in Northern California in the mountain who had 0.8 download speed and 0.04 up. Was paying $130. Yeah, that's the thing, right? It only gets worse. Like, it can be bad in the cities because there's so many people there and it's, you know, clogged up and there's a lot of people trying to use it. But yeah, at the same time, like, there isn't a ton of incentive for the networks to provide a ton of coverage in like middle of nowhere spots. So yeah, you might not have basically anything at all. But yeah, no, I mean, I still hate mine. It's certainly not quite as bad as some other places, relatively speaking, but it's still very bad. It's still very, very bad. And for the price too. So we'll see. Maybe one day. One day we'll have some better stuff here. Yeah, I'm gonna toss these flowers. All right. This lag is a little intense. I should put some of this stuff in the house too. That's what I'll do next. I'll grab some furniture things out here and put them in storage. Hooray! Pick this up. That's sort of the Pulp Fiction briefcase. Got some arcade games. It is disappointing because that's another thing. In the original game, you could there were cheat codes, tons of them. It was a lot of fun. But specifically, there were cheat codes for little playable versions of old NES games, and it was so cool. And they just, I guess they didn't want to put any playable little mini games in here. I don't really understand that. I think that would be perfect. But yeah, they didn't do that. But yeah, in the original, yeah, you could play balloon fight and the dirt bike game. How am I forgetting it? Extreme bike. Here, I'll put stuff in storage and I'll give a brief tour of the house in case anybody cares about that. Briefcase, storage. I haven't hit the storage limit ever, which is very nice because that would be frustrating. I feel like it should just be infinite. Yep, arcade done. Done. Customized table with cloth. Fighting game. Okay. I think that's... Yeah, I'll put the fruit. I had the... Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. Anyway, yeah, check it out. Here's the living room. When I found out you could put custom images into the pattern maker, I went a little crazy with that, put up some stupid ones here when the game first came out. But yeah, I needed to do some stuff here too. But it's the living room. It's sort of the main living space. Yeah, Hugo says, I planted some of those flowers in my little garden and half of them die. Really? How do you get them to die? None of mine have died. This is the bedroom, I guess, and I put in as many white noise sources as possible. Unfortunately, we can't hear the game volume right now, but I find it very comforting to have all these different sources of sound in the background. So I got some Catan there. Do people say Catan or Catan? Probably Catan, right? Tea, Earl Grey. Hope I don't spill that. Over here, if I remember correctly, is the bathroom and sort of the spa area. As you can see, we have a very nice bamboo hot tub there. We got a shower, just a basket of towels and a jukebox. It doesn't really fit. I never have a reason to go into that room. I don't know what the point of it is, but it's there, like houses have. And then over here on the other end, we have, this is sort of like an office space. So we have a fake Cezanne over there. We got a fish poster. We got our books, a Splatoon telephone, Big Bear. Got a typewriter and a nice desk and chair. I like this room a lot, actually. It's sort of the rug is almost just the right size. Yeah, I dig it. And we'll do the basement, but the basement is not the last room will be my favorite room, which I don't see myself changing. I don't do too much with the, I don't end up doing too much with the house in general. I'm not crazy about like customizing the house. It's fine. Not exactly my favorite part of the game, but yeah, I modeled this basement after my basement in the original Animal Crossing game that I had back in the day. But yeah, it's pretty good. Anyway, let's go up to the kitchen, my favorite room in the house. Waterproof Gibbon says, hello, Waterproof Gibbon. Thanks for joining us on stream. Says, hello, I just found your channel today. Oh, and binge a bunch of your stuff. Wow, noticed you were streaming. Getting lucky today. I also love your videos. Thank you so much. That's a very nice thing for you to say. I appreciate that. I'm glad people are able to find the channel. I think a lot of my more recent videos have been getting kind of buried, which is whatever. That's the YouTube game, you know. But yeah, we still get some steady growth. Get a decent number of new subscribers and stuff. So it's great. But I'm really happy to hear that you've been liking the stuff. I don't have the most consistent upload schedule, but I'm always working on the next thing. Always working on at least one or two other things. So yeah, hoping to have something out maybe over the weekend if I really get to work on it. But otherwise, yeah, maybe sometime next week I could get to it. What was I doing? Oh yeah. How about this? Let's get this space all kind of worked out, and then we'll build up more land here, because I think that's kind of fun. So that'll be good. Oh, and Hugo has a question for Waterproof Gibbon. I'll probably go with Gibbon, because it's faster and easier to say. Just a heads up. I hope that's okay. And should I switch? I'll leave the music for a little bit longer. Switch it up again. Get some more of these flowers. Crickets here. I never catch the bugs anymore unless it's one of those really valuable butterflies. Those are fun. Those are pretty good. Look at all these bugs out here. Got the dragonfly. I guess it is kind of sunset. That's when they come out, don't they? Most of them. Do this. Oh man, my aim. There we go. This color combination over here is actually kind of nice. I guess they naturally mix colors, right? If they're in the same breed or something like that. I think that's how you get the orange ones. I also don't remember the types very well either. Oh, no. I have plenty of room though. Good to know. There we go. Thank you. And this one. Perfect. Yes, indeed. What else has been going on? I didn't like write down anything to talk about or anything. Obviously, I already did my big whole MF Doom spiel, but that's okay. I feel like it's a bit of a bummer, so I'll stay away from that. But we're making progress here. This is pretty good. Oh, too close. Too close. I also think it would be fun to do, not that I want to do games all the time on the stream, but I also think it would be fun to do some Flash games on the stream if I can get them to run. Some of them are kind of dead after Chrome stopped supporting Flash Player. But there are other ways to play some of them, and it's kind of fun and nostalgic to play some of those old games. Anyway. So Gibbon says, I really liked the Moral Oral video. Actually got recommended to me on my FYP. What is that? What does FYP mean? I don't know what that is. Sorry. Don't know all the lingo, I guess. So the YouTube algorithm can be good from time to time. Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It can be helpful. Even earlier today when I was looking for stuff, I just... it learns your routines, you know what I mean? Which can be just, yeah, it can just be kind of handy sometimes to feel like, oh yeah, I already knew what I wanted to see next, or the general vibe of what I wanted to see next. So you can just kind of stay hands off. But no, it can definitely be nice sometimes. Okay, finish up these flowers. We'll do some actual building then. Yeah. Can you trap villagers? I think you can if you just like put their house in a terrible spot. I think they just kind of stay there or teleport to another place around the island, something like that. Anyway, yeah, I do. I actually do like the Moral Oral video. I don't like watch it or anything like that. I don't really watch a lot of my stuff too often. But no, I like that one a lot. I'm happy about the claymation stuff we were doing. I would like to do some more claymation too. It's just, for obvious reasons, it's a big old hassle. It really does take some effort, and especially for that video, all the animation stuff, actually shooting the animation was not that hard at all because I wasn't morphing clay, I wasn't having it change shape or anything too much. I just had my sort of props and then just had to move them around. And even in terms of the movement, I had done, it was my first time doing some like animatics ahead of time, some kind of storyboard stuff, so that I knew exactly which frame I needed to change something in a certain way. It just made it all the planning was done ahead of time. So I definitely want to do that again, but it just adds even more time to the process, of course. So yeah, it's a bit of a thing, but I like that. No, I like that video. I like the vibe. I like the visuals. I wish I could have done even more claymation. But I would certainly have reason to do it again, just for the look. So we'll see. Anyway, wow. Come on, Tamitha. Hugo says, the flowers just die. I think it may have just been the heat. Okay, but some white wind flowers are blossoming. And my still good little avocado tree is still good. Are there avocado trees too? I don't think I've ever seen avocado trees. Was that in one of the updates or something? I don't think I have any of those at all. I got the coconut, I got the palm trees, right? I got the bamboo, doesn't really give anything. But yeah, peach, apple, orange? Yeah, I must have oranges in here somewhere. Pears, right? Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how many trees end up in the new design. Maybe in like the lower level. Or almost as like a barrier around the outside. I think that could be kind of interesting. So we'll see. Wow, this takes so long. I gotta move this along or just do something else, I guess. What do we got? Oh, we got so much room. I gotta keep going. Gibbon says FYP is the For You page. Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, IG, YouTube doesn't really have one, but I just call the recommended page short. No, I think that works. Yeah, why not? Also, the claymation was great. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it was all right. I don't do a lot of that, obviously. Certainly not professionally. So it's just whatever we could manage, basically. I also had some help on the claymation stuff from a great visual artist, a painter friend of mine, who's credited in the description. If you want to check out some of her work. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. It was a fun video to put together. Especially when you have some animation actually done and you're just sliding it into the video editor. I find that very satisfying. It's like, okay, cool, I did the work. Now I just get to enjoy having it done. Yeah, it was a good one. And it got a decent boost too. For the longest time, it was getting nothing. It was getting no views at all. And then finally, it got this spike. And once it gets some more momentum, they show it to even more people. So I'm pretty happy. It's become one of the most popular videos on the channel. I think maybe like top 5 at this point, which isn't saying too much. It's not like any of our stuff gets massive numbers, but yeah, that one definitely picked up some speed, so I appreciate that. Okay, let's throw all these flowers, build some land, all the important stuff. Yes, we're gonna toss all of these flowers, game. And I'll probably plant fewer of them in general because I don't want them to get overgrown. I'm not playing the game all the time, so yeah. There we go. This is maybe sacrilege, but I'm getting rid of the fossil too. I just don't need it. I don't need it. I got all the fossils. I'm done. Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's build up some land. It's satisfying. Let's do that. Oh, I gotta get rid of that fossil too. It doesn't let you build over fossil digging spots or whatever. Okay, now I need my special land shovel, magical land shovel. I can get this going. All right. Oh, I love the look of the ground coming together, sort of clumping together. And the cliff textures in general are so nice. It's very pleasant. Almost looks like clay, actually. Come to think of it. Too many bugs. Go away, bugs. Get out of here. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. I'll deal with that section a bit later, I think. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, what else has been going on? I'm trying to think of things that came up recently or things I've been working on with that. New video stuff. Yeah. Actually, I am working on something right now. It's kind of a bigger project, but I'm working on what could potentially be a new video series that actually it's sort of self-reflexive for YouTube. It goes into like specific YouTube sub-communities that I've gotten swept up in the past, which I think happens to a lot of us, like even if there's a certain thing that you're not especially interested in, you could just find yourself watching a lot of videos that belong to this community, that are part of this community on YouTube. And I find that process pretty interesting, the process of like coming across a new sub-community and then actually engaging with it for a while. A lot of the time I don't stick with those communities for prolonged periods of time. Not what I wanted to do. But so I'm doing an initial video on that topic. I'm going to be talking about one of the specific sub-communities that I sort of got involved with a few years back, and how that all shook out, how it first came up, how it tied in with just stuff I was doing in general, things that I was making. So I'm hoping it turns out okay. I like the idea for sure, and it's an idea I've had for a while. Just haven't gotten around to it. And I'm also, I don't know, even though the channel has a variety of things that have done well, or relatively well, I still feel that weird urge of like, maybe I shouldn't do just random stuff. Maybe there should be some kind of really consistent thing about just animation. But I don't know, that doesn't feel right. It feels very much just too limiting, I guess, for what I want to do with the channel. I much prefer having different perspectives, different subject matter, even though I know it's bad for branding because people aren't coming to you for just some specific content. You know, it's channels like that seem to do very well. So whatever, but yeah, it's fine. This isn't my job, you know. So why not? Why not just make stuff that I feel like making? So that's been the situation so far. But yeah, I'm working on that. There's another potential big game review I wanted to do. I just kind of burned out after the Garden Story video. So I have not gone back to those in the meantime. And I guess sometime, maybe in November, sometime towards the end of the year here, I'm supposed to finally get my Playdate that I pre-ordered, the Playdate handheld console. And I'm very excited about it because I keep forgetting that was back in July that I pre-ordered. But yeah, I'm supposed to get mine before the end of 2021. So I could potentially do some interesting stuff there, whether it's like sort of a follow-up video to my first Playdate video or, just giving general impressions. I'm sure tons of other like big tech channels will be doing that kind of stuff too. But I think it'd be fun. I'm really curious about the games that they got signed for this thing. So that's going to be the big one. And since they only deliver one a week, it could be a potentially prolonged topic. It could be something that's relevant for quite a while. Oh, come on, Tamitha. Not what we needed you to do here. Okay. Waterproof Gibbon says, yes, that sounds super interesting. Oh, thanks. Yeah, some of the upcoming video about YouTube community stuff. I hope so. Yeah. I hope it turns out. It's a bit tricky to find stuff to put in the edit for that kind of video where it's more just almost discussion based. It doesn't lend itself well to just a bunch of B-roll as opposed to like a video game review. Just use footage from the game, like as much as you can find. You can use the game trailer footage. You can use footage that other people have captured from the game if you credit them properly. And if they're not vehemently against that. So there are easier options there if you're talking about a show. Obviously, just like show as much of it as you can, and make sure it's relevant to what you're talking about. But yeah, when it's something a little more abstract, I do sometimes struggle. Like, what do I put here? What am I gonna put in the background? It's a bit of a thing. Anyway, Hugo's saying I was talking about IRL. Oh, don't think you can get avocado in the game. No. Okay. I see when you were talking about flowers dying, I was like, Animal Crossing? No way. I've never had flowers die. But yes, flowers dying in real life, it happens often, especially for me. I am not especially good with plants and gardening stuff. I don't even have an outdoor space to work with, so there's not a ton of options for gardening. I don't get a lot of sunlight, so tons of restrictions there, unfortunately. But I would love to. I not necessarily blossoming flowers or things, but out here, you could do some cacti. I have a couple actually. Things like that. Anyway, an avocado tree in real life, that sounds very exciting. I don't know if they require, I assume they would require pretty high humidity. So that can be tricky sometimes. But other than that, I would love to have just like fresh avocados or even like a citrus plant. They're very common out here in Southern California. So sometimes you'll just pass, in someone's yard. They just have this big citrus plant with a bunch of fruit like ready to go, and apparently it's for decoration only because they don't harvest all of it. It's just kind of there. But yeah, it's pretty great. That's relatively novel to me, the idea that you can just like grow citrus here in the United States. I don't gotta get it imported all the time and stuff. Even just like little kitchen herbs and things like that. Big fan of that for sure. And need to get back to it. I used to have a really nice mint plant and a basil plant. I use that stuff all the time. It's wonderful. Oh no, yeah, this aiming is kind of tricky. Okay, I'm gonna switch the music to the next track. Okay, on to Scruffy's 10 a.m. track for Animal Crossing Taking Root, which does not exist. It was just a fun music project that he did. And so far, I've been enjoying it quite a bit. Isn't that right, Kat? That's right. And we're making very good progress on the island terraforming here. In fact, let's take a moment to look at the... Nope. Fill in this first. Let's take a look at the map. See what we got here. Map is here. Okay. So, I think the top left corner where I have my house, I'm gonna have to relocate the house temporarily because I generally want it in that spot, but I want to fill in all that land there with this elevation that we're doing here, the third level up. I want that to all be kind of consistent across the back. What else? Yeah, maybe I could just have like the lowest elevation possible for that middle part. I can scroll over. So maybe, oh no, I can't. Never mind. So yeah, for that like starting zone, right? That could all be lowest level possible. Get rid of that weird second level on the bottom left corner. I think that would make sense. I don't know if I want to spread out the villagers or not. I'll probably get rid of the dump at some point, even though I do think it's kind of funny. Yeah, but we just don't have any options for the area around Town Hall because you can't move. I don't think you can move it at all, right? I don't think so. I'd have to check on that, but I think you can't relocate it. It's always going to be on that elevation. So, yeah. Also, apparently, you now have my dream address. I forgot that I was doing the dream feature thing, which is kind of weird, but there it is. Anyway, so yeah, not a solid plan, but in the meantime, I think as it takes shape, maybe I'll have a better feeling about like what I actually want to do with it. Yeah, let's just keep plugging away. And if it gets too boring, I'll just switch to another game or something. I think it's just gonna be chatting today, you know, just kind of hanging out. What else? Oh, I gotta catch up on the chat here as well. Hugo says, I don't know if the avocado would taste good because I planted from a seed and those can taste different. All fruit you buy at the store are from a clone tree, so the taste is not different between each fruit. Interesting. So there's potential to create different flavor. I don't know about flavor profiles, but like, maybe subtleties of difference in flavor between fruits. That's actually kind of an exciting idea to me. I mean, there's certainly an appeal to just growing like your own grocery store produce kind of stuff. But yeah, the idea of having something a little more distinctive, that sounds kind of fun. I don't know. Oh, Tamitha. Just do the thing I want you to do. Oh my goodness. Hugo says, it's just a baby tree, the avocado tree, and it'll take about 2 years before it gives fruit for the first time. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And I know this isn't the reasoning, but like I feel like even just to support the weight of growing fruit, it would need to be pretty substantial, right? Like you can't just have, just like a tiny little sapling growing full-size avocados. That'd be kind of funny. I don't know if I've ever seen an avocado tree in person. I've certainly seen them in videos and such. Yeah. Oh, nope. Oh, my goodness. What fun we're having. 7 o'clock already? Wow. Okay. Yeah, I don't even know what the total stream time is going to be today. I'm not feeling too tired, so maybe until 8 o'clock my time, so like roughly another hour if I'm really feeling it. But we'll see. We'll see what's going on. See if we got some chatters happening. Yeah, I really do need to get this into a time lapse. I think it'd be kind of cool to see it that way. I usually don't record a lot of my Animal Crossing footage or game footage in general. Unless I'm really trying to make a video about something, I do not record game footage. It's not that much fun to essentially play on the computer screen where it's really small and kind of laggy and choppy. But yeah, what else has been going on? Working on that video. Yeah, there's some shorter videos, I suppose. And it's interesting too. I somewhat recently did that. I guess it was an impressions video about Chicago Party Ant, the Netflix original series, supposedly based on a Twitter conversation or Twitter user profile. That might not be true. But anyway, yeah, it stars Lauren Ash. I did a little video on that. And yeah, this has been sort of an experiment for me in the channel for a while now, is that some of my more popular videos were the result of timeliness, essentially. Like, I got them out at exactly the right time that people were looking for that kind of thing. So, like, an example was the Hilda Season 2 video. That's something where I think I was one of the first videos to go up on the topic. And so it naturally got some more views. It probably came up in more search results. And yeah, that's happened a few times with different shows where if I make something about it fast enough, it'll catch on. If not, if a bunch of other people aren't covering it already. And so every once in a while, I'll try to do something like that just to see if it ends up getting a lot of views. Chicago Party Ant really didn't. But anyway, sort of the funny thing that I've noticed about that, and I guess in hindsight, maybe it should have been somewhat predictable. But what I have noticed about those kinds of videos where I review something as soon as it comes out and just try to get it up fast, that yes, sometimes they do get higher numbers of videos in general, or number of views rather, than some of the other stuff. But the rate at which that video like sort of encourages new subscribers is very low. Like, it seems to be that a lot of the people that are watching those very timely videos aren't sticking around. You know, they just get that video, get that fix, and then move on. So that's just another reason for me to not do that kind of stuff, I guess. It seems that the more in-depth things perform a little bit better in terms of watch time and subscribers, for one thing. And on top of that, I tend to enjoy making those a lot more than the, super quick stuff where I'm just like, yeah, it just came out and I need to talk about it now. Shovel, thank you. Ooh, I don't want to throw away all the lilies. Lily of the valleys or lilies of the valley? What do we call them in plural? But I like these, so I don't want to get rid of all of them. I'll hold on to one or two. I probably have some in storage as well. Hugo says, yes, it costs so much. Let's talk about apples. It takes like 5 years before a tree gives fruit. And that's when you know how it tastes. So the new flavor of apples, the newest was Honeycrisp, which is one of my favorites. I have a couple of those in the fridge right now. They're very good. They're pretty expensive, though. It was plated or planted in the late 1980s and went to the stores in late 97. Wow, so it's a pretty recent apple. Somewhat new apple technology. Very interesting. The apple Granny Smith, the green ones, the sour ones, were planted back in 1968. Ah, so that's an older, that's like a heritage apple, I suppose. Very fancy. That's neat. Yeah, I guess I did assume that it would take a long time to develop a new, what do we call them, strained species of fruit that's fit for consumption. But yeah, certainly didn't have the idea that it took quite that long. That's interesting. Yeah, I'll keep that one up there. Wind turbine. Do I want the turbine? I guess I do. I guess so. It's kind of neat looking. Okay. Yeah, let's just fill this all out. Let's just go for it. Yes. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take a second and drink some water and also tea so that my voice doesn't die. Oh, lovely. Also, you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to change up the music a bit. I'm going to... I've been listening to, like I said earlier, I've been listening to Domi and JD Beck lately and trying to get into their stuff. It's kind of jazz fusion. They do a lot of covers. I'm just going to put some of that on, I guess. It's a little more upbeat. I'm going to try some of that. I already did their Mad Villainy tribute. Try their Nord session here. Yeah. Some nice background music that I don't think will get copyright claims, but maybe it will. Who knows? Gibbon says, well, learn so much about plants right now. Yeah. Yeah, I guess since you're new here. Yeah, Hugo is one of our regulars in the chat. And on the channel in general. He's been great. But Hugo's got tons of fun facts. Whatever we're talking about, Hugo does a great job of giving like extra information and yeah, just like fun stuff about whatever we're talking about. And I think it's awesome. Because I don't tend to do a ton of research, during stream or anything like that. But it's great. It sounds like Hugo also just has some experience with this, planting stuff, gardening stuff. I think it's pretty neat. Turn down the music a bit here. All right. Yeah, this is going okay. I really do. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth complaining about. We are getting an update to Animal Crossing soon. They're doing a whole direct for it. Kind of excited about that. But the terraforming is just so slow. It's so slow. It's fine, it's that kind of game, but just trying to aim. I never really know where I'm gonna aim, and you can never be sure. It can be a little frustrating, I think. But it's I don't know. If you get in the groove, I think it can be a kind of soothing process. This kind of have teeth here. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and then what I can do with the videos, instead of having to trust autoplay, I can add stuff to the queue. I never do that. Oh, Tamitha. Tamitha's got to be a real name, right? I didn't think it was, but it's got to be. Here, I'm going to add some more stuff to the queue. What else we got? Did I say 1968? I don't think I said. I must be wrong. Yes, 1868. Well, I'm glad we have the chat on the screen too, so anybody can catch me if I mess something up. Add this one to queue. Thank you. What else do I want to add to the queue? Nord. Hugo says, if you were to plant a seed from the Honeycrisp, it will not grow into a Honeycrisp. It will be a new tree with a new fruit. Very interesting. Yeah, so it just, they iterate, I guess, essentially upon themselves. Like almost slow evolution, I would have to imagine. But yeah, just subtle differences. That's very interesting. Yeah, that's pretty cool. What is this one? I'll add this to the queue as well. I'll add this too. Hugo says this fruit could taste good or bad, but mostly they taste bad. Oh, look, just like the Honeycrisp, but tastes very different. Oh, that's pretty cool. It also makes sense that they would use, clone trees all the time because they want the same results. They want predictability, right? That's the business thing in a lot of ways. In a lot of industries, you want as predictable as possible. How about Dune? Can we talk about Dune? I don't know if anybody cares about Dune. I don't care about Dune that much. I don't care about the original book that much. I don't care about that author. I don't care about the original movie. But I am vaguely interested in the new one, directed by Denis Villeneuve. I will I will probably see it. Probably gonna see it at this point. Oh, that's the same song, isn't it? Okay. Probably gonna see it. I do want to see it in the theater. It's definitely a theater kind of movie. That seems pretty obvious, right? Um, but yeah, I want to see with hopefully on IMAX. I want to see with the best sound possible. Um, so I'll pay whatever it's been. I haven't been back to a movie theater since the quarantine stuff happened. So I think it would be a pretty good return, to the theater experience. But yeah, I'm probably gonna see it in IMAX. I have a specific theater in mind where it'll probably cost like $25-$30 to see it, but it's fine. I certainly don't do this very often, so I'll probably end up going there. But yeah, I actually saw Villeneuve's last movie, of course, was the Blade Runner sequel, Blade Runner 2049, which I'm a big fan of. I haven't talked about it on the channel, I think, at all, but love it very much. And I saw that in I don't know if it was an IMAX theater or just like an ultra wide. There's some other type of screen that's very nice. So I saw it in that theater with some really good sound. I think it was a Dolby Atmos mix. Fantastic, and especially for such a long movie with such incredible visuals. Like, I was very happy with that experience. So I'm basically just thinking, yeah, okay, this is a big tentpole movie, may as well check it out on the biggest screen possible, really get involved. I don't know if it's going to do well at all financially. I don't think the box office is going to be too strong. That's just my hunch. But regardless, I think I'll be impressed by at least some parts of it, if not, even if I'm not necessarily a big fan of the whole thing. So yeah, but at the moment, I'm planning to go see it in the theater. I think it comes out in like a week or two, right? Something like that. Maybe the 18th. I lose track. But yep, pretty into Dune. Hugo's asking, the new movie that's coming out on HBO? Yeah, if it's owned by what? If it's Warner Media, then they've been doing that, or they'll do theatrical releases are released at the same time on HBO Max to stream for no additional cost. And then they pull it later, and then they put it back later. They did that for the Suicide Squad and that new Mortal Kombat movie, and they're probably going to do the same thing with Malignant, the new James Wan horror movie in quotes, which is really something, that one. Anyway, so yeah, I'm sure it will be on HBO Max for streaming within roughly the same timeline as the theatrical release. But I'm not going to I'm not doing that. I'm not watching it at home for the first time. It's just not going to happen, I think that would be a bit of a waste. Just for me, I think plenty of other people will be very happy seeing it at home and not having to haul out to the theater. But yeah, I don't have the best setup here. I have a decent TV. The color depth is really not that great. And I just have a very basic speaker setup that's just 2-channel stereo. So it's not like I would get to experience the Atmos mix. I'm sure it will have an Atmos mix. I'm just not willing to spend like $1,000 to get Atmos in here. Maybe one day, or maybe on like one of those little sound bars. But anyway, so yeah, I just want to see it in the theater for all those reasons. Yeah, okay. There we go. This is making some progress, but I don't know. I might have to hop off Animal Crossing soon. I might switch it to something else just because I'm getting sort of bored with the terraforming here. It's a bit much for all at one time. I'm glad I made the progress though, for sure. And you go there. And we go over here. And yeah, we'll put something up here. I always like when I have a brand new empty space in this game and you can just kind of run around and you feel like the possibilities, I enjoy that for sure. I'll grab my little ladder. Here we are. Look at this. Yeah, we got our little cozy spot down there. The turtle's having a nice time. We just got all this empty space. Oh, man. Oh, it's so nice. That ramp will be removed by tomorrow, so I can fill all of this in. Yeah, this is great. Oh, it feels good. Let me plop down a couple of lanterns to make this a cozy little spot. Lantern, nope. Not a wind turbine. Oh, no, not what I wanted to place the item. Place. Ah, look at this. This is pretty nice. Place. Yeah. That's kind of nice. I wish I had a bunch more garden lanterns. I really like the light that they put out. This is not any special arrangement or anything. But yeah, Dune. I'm not even crazy about the cast. Who's that? So Timothée Chalamet. I don't know what it is. He's starring, right, as whatever goofy character name. We have Oscar Isaac is there. Jason Momoa is in the movie. Actually, you know what? Let's just call it. Who else is in it? Who's the mother character? I just saw her because she's in these ads now for the movie, and I don't even remember her name. I'm sorry, actor, but it's not coming to mind right now. But yeah, really solid cast. I don't know who the DP is on this movie. In fact, I'm going to look that up right now. IMDb. Hello, old friend. Here is Dune. Can I click on Dune? Yes. 2 hours, 35 minutes, so it's going to be a trek. Rebecca Ferguson, I think, is the woman I was thinking of. Okay, so let's look at cast and crew. Director, yep, got that. Zendaya is also going to be in it too. Thank you, Gibbon. I just saw her name pop up, actually on the main page here. Stellan Skarsgård, he's very good. Josh Brolin is in it. Javier Bardem. Jesus Christ. This is Dave Bautista. Sure, why not? Wow. Yeah, even some of these like smaller parts, it's like big names. This is a big cast. Okay, so who did cinematography? A fella named Greg Fraser. Greig. Greg Fraser. He's Australian. And other movies he's done include Rogue One, Zero Dark 30, Vice. What else? Foxcatcher. People like that movie. Killing Them Softly. And some other stuff I've never heard of. Okay, so... Okay. I guess I'm confident in the cinematography. I mean, certainly from the trailers we've seen, it looks quite nice, but... yeah, I can't say that was aware of this guy before, that I'm a big fan. I just don't know his stuff, really. And I never ended up watching Foxcatcher either, actually. I've only ever heard like really good things about it, but I just didn't get there. I don't know. What do I want to do here? Maybe some downwell for a bit. It might be tough with the lag, but why not? Oh, I forgot about my tea again. Here we go. All right. Hello, cat. You woke up? What's up? But yeah, do you guys care about Dune? Is it something you want to see? In fact, while we're on the topic, if anybody knows other movies coming out soon, please let me know, because I haven't kept up with that at all. Basically all of 2022, I wasn't really aware of the new stuff coming out, even if it was coming straight to streaming. Oh, this lag is not going to work. Yeah, nope, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Oh my goodness. That was terrible. So I guess I can't do anything too action-y. Mario Kart would be fun, though. Sayonara Wild Hearts wouldn't be the same if we couldn't hear the music. I could try some pinball. I don't know whether it'll work okay, but... Gotta stay hydrated. Hugo says Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa are in it. Yes, they are. And have you guys seen that show where no one can see, but it's called See? There's a season 3 now. I heard about it only recently. Yeah, the idea definitely reminds me of like The Giver, which is actually a trilogy, I think, if you ever read The Giver growing up in school. I actually like that series quite a bit as an adult. I haven't watched it, though. I forget which one it's... Is it on Hulu? Is that an HBO show? But yeah, the premise is like him and the two main characters can see, right? So they're like seen as weirdos, something like that. Oh, even this is laggy. Oh, no. This is what you get when you buy like the cheapest capture card on Amazon. What do I have that's like, oh, can we just do Katamari? Oh, I just want to do Katamari. That should be okay. I don't think the lag should be a problem. Anyway, Hugo, have you seen it? Or had you just like come across it recently and were like, that sounds interesting? Because if you have any thoughts on it, seriously, please let me know. Because it's, I don't know, I might do that. I haven't been watching a lot of new shows lately. I haven't been watching new shows or new movies. I've just been going back to stuff I really like, or some classics, or kind of legacy movies, you know, vintage stuff. Does anybody call them vintage movies? That sounds silly. But yeah, no, I'd love to hear any thoughts on that one, because a friend of mine recommended it very recently. And I was like, okay, yeah, it sounds kind of neat, but I have no idea what it's actually like. I assume it's a pretty serious, kind of serious show. Very dramatic, which is usually not my favorite thing. Katamari's just getting going here. Figured we'd play the whole intro because I love it. Oh, how classy. Oh, this is a completely different thing now. This is Bill Evans. Which I like a lot. Oh no, but that's going to have commercials on it. So I'm going to stop and switch over to our safe music here, which includes Katamari music, funnily enough. Cool. Here we go. Yeah, at this point, I guess I'll stay on until like 8 at least. Somewhere around there. Just kind of hang out. Yes, I want to do Eternal, please. Hugo says it's Apple TV Plus. Oh. Both can't see, and Momoa has a daughter that can see, and Bautista is the big bad of the show. I have not seen it, don't have Apple TV. So that's what I was going to say is Apple TV's maybe one of the... Maybe Apple TV and Paramount Plus are ones... Well, and I guess Peacock, too. Those ones, I don't really have an interest in getting those, and I already used up my free trials with every single one of them. I did have Apple TV or Apple TV Plus for a while, because there's some kind of deal, like if you have other Apple products or something, or like other subscriptions with them, you can just get it, basically, for a pretty cheap rate, at least for like some promotional period, which is pretty nice. So I did have Apple TV Plus for maybe like, I don't know, 3 months. Watched a decent amount of stuff on there. Wolfwalkers is on there, which is one of the best animated movies of the last 5 years, if not just one of the best movies of the last 5 years. That's where Wolfwalkers is. They have a couple docu-series kind of things that are pretty neat. They had the Greyhound movie with Tom Hanks. That was pretty cool. I didn't think I would be into it, but it was pretty neat. and very well done. The effects were basically seamless. Um, but yeah, like as of right now, I don't think I would. I don't think I would re-up with Apple TV Plus, even though the show does sound interesting. So who knows? Maybe a friend of mine has Apple One, and I can just use their login. That's what I do for a lot of my streaming services, actually. Um, Hugo says, I only got Apple TV for a month just to see Wolfwalkers. Yeah, I think a lot of people did that, and I think it's totally fair because, at least for me, and from my perspective, that is one of the best things they're offering. And it's also a movie that I find very rewatchable, which is kind of surprising because it's not the lightest movie around. Like it goes to some dark places, and it's not a fun romp the whole time, basically. Um, but I love rewatching it, even if just for the visuals. Oh my gosh, the composition, that movie is wild. I would 100% make a video about Wolfwalkers, except that I don't know if I would have anything unique to say about it that hasn't been said in like the 500 other reviews and video essays that have come out about Wolfwalker since it released towards the end of last year. Like, I don't think I would be contributing much to the conversation, and when that's the way I feel about a subject, I tend to just not make that video. So I don't foresee a Wolfwalkers video anytime soon, or maybe ever. And I think that someone who would maybe be better equipped to talk about Wolfwalkers or the other Cartoon Saloon movies and the Tom Moore directed movies would be someone with a pretty deep academic understanding of the visual arts and composition and color palette and things like this, color theory. Because so much of what I find interesting about those movies is not really so much the storytelling or the narrative stuff going on or the characters, but rather, yeah, just the visuals, and especially the composition is unbelievable in those movies. Especially Wolfwalkers and Secret of Kells are just two of just all-time favorites, and the composition is amazing. It chooses certain rules to just not follow, basically, and it works so extremely well. And I have one more thing to say about that, but I'll get to Hugo's comment here too. Cartoon Saloon is great. I like almost all of their stuff. The art is so good. I 100% agree. Some of the art, especially character art for some of their movies, turned me off. Like when I first saw clips of Secret of Kells, or just like stills, like a poster, I was like, this looks lame. This looks like some terrible children's book. Like it didn't seem interesting or all that good, and it was 2D, but it looked weird. But once you get into it, wow. But one of the examples I wanted to point to from Wolfwalkers, which is maybe kind of silly when none of us are actively watching it, but the town, right? So triangles are a huge visual motif for the English people in the movie, and specifically like the town, because obviously there's a big split between the natural world and the world of man-made order, right? It's a huge thing in the movie. It's very clear. It's very obvious. So yeah, triangles are a huge thing for that. Triangles are used to represent the town and man-made order and all that kind of stuff. You can find them in so many places throughout the movie. The triangles are also the shapes that are sort of burned into the forest once people start trying to tear trees down and stuff like that. But anyway, so the town itself, when you see it in the background, especially when we're out in the woods with Mabe, you can see the town in the background, and it's made up of a collection of triangles, for one thing, and it's very sharp. But at the same time, the orientation, like the way they show the town in the background, doesn't make any sense at all for the perspective of the scene. Like if it was shot in real life, you have your basically flat shot of the people running around in the woods. And then maybe if you could see any part of the town in the background, it would be very distant. It would be very flat, right? You might not be able to see it at all past the tree line. But here, whenever you see the town in the background from the forest, it basically looks like a 100% top-down view, like a perfect bird's eye view from a drone or something. So it makes no sense for the perspective of that scene from a very strict, visual arts theory point of view. But it works perfectly because it makes that town an imposing force, right? It's always there in the background, and not only that, but like you feel it in the background. You feel it encroaching on the natural space, and that's just like a very a very small example of how effective their visuals are and their composition is, at least from someone who doesn't really understand that stuff all that well. Yeah, absolutely. And Hugo is also adding that there is a clear split between the Irish and the English. Absolutely. That's true in, very true in, well, I guess it's a sort of similar thing of Natural World and man-made stuff and Secret of Kells. But yeah, no, certainly since Cartoon Saloon is an Irish studio, you do get those hints of like English colonialism, right? And English domineering in terms of culture and religion, certainly. But they've done a great job of trying to represent in some form, like, yeah, either the natural world or almost like, Gaelic stuff, Gaelic spiritual influence. Yeah, just, I don't know, almost pagan, a pagan presence, which, contrasts the Anglo-Christian influence going on, which, of course, we know from history was ultimately the more influential, not only in Ireland, but in many parts of the world. It's sort of a colonialism of thought and spirituality, right? But yeah, so many splits, so many like clear dichotomies in that movie. But yeah, the most obvious, of course, being, order, natural world, order represented by sharp angles, triangles especially, straight lines, and the natural world is all curves. Like you will be hard pressed to find a straight line anywhere in the woods. It's all curves and natural shapes. And yeah, these are not like, some of these are somewhat obvious decisions given the subject matter and the story, but like every one of them is spot on. Every one of these decisions is completely correct in that movie. And it can be so nice to just kind of sit back and enjoy that, and just think like, wow, these people know exactly what they're doing and they're bringing such a strong vision to life. And I think that's incredibly exciting in any animated stuff or just entertainment, media in general. When you know that someone has a really specific idea and that they've executed it to its fullest extent, I think that just makes for some of the best stuff I've ever seen, basically. Sorry, I'm getting on my high horse a little bit here with kind of media theory stuff, sort of. But yeah, that's certainly the way I feel about it. More auteur stuff, not even auteur, but like, because auteur, sort of a hero worshipy term. It implies one person with a great vision and everybody else just does that. But I do think it's collaborative, ultimately. This roll is going pretty okay. We're on a bit of a roll, don't you think? Don't you think so? I don't know. Wolfwalkers. Now I want to rewatch Wolfwalkers. Luckily, I have a copy. I'm not going to mention how I got this copy because it's not a DVD. But I do have a copy of Wolfwalkers just ready to go at all times. So I might end up doing that later tonight. I've also toyed around, in terms of the streams, I've toyed around with the idea of doing like watch parties, right? Where like everybody agrees to watch something during the stream, but for obvious reasons I can't show it on the stream, right? So everybody just finds their own source, their own way to watch it, whatever it is. I think that would be a lot of fun. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if people would be down for that, especially if people are coming in like midstream and they didn't know about it ahead of time. I feel like it would be kind of annoying to try to catch up, or like if we're not talking about other things and they're just like, oh, it's a movie that I'm not watching. Like, what's the point? So we'll see. I don't know, but I kind of like the idea. If people are super into that idea, maybe we could try it out at some point. Hugo with a different color avatar this time, says, yeah, I still can't believe they made it with Moho. Yes, Moho is the program. Yeah, we talked about that on one of the old streams, I think. How they used Moho as the program they used to animate the whole thing. And it's really not a super expensive or complex animation program. It's basically something that, it's very accessible, basically. And that's, very impressive. Usually you have the industry standard programs and that's it. Not a lot of expansion beyond that. But at the same time, like, if it is traditional animation, if it's 2D animation, and all you're doing is very flat and you don't need like weird lighting stuff going on, I could see how maybe the software isn't the most important thing, right? Like, as long as you have the right people working on the team, and you have great direction and you can get the assets that you need, I guess you wouldn't need a super complex program, Like, as long as you can edit everything together, make it look the way you want, fine. But I'm certainly not an expert on the topic, so, that's that. Hugo's clarifying. Yeah, swapping from work PC to home PC. Gotcha. Cool. Probably counts as more viewers for me, technically. 2 different accounts, All right. This is going pretty well. We're really, we're moving along now. This is a pretty good size where you can pick up like almost anything. I think really once you get to 5 centimeters, I don't know why it's still called centimeters at this point, because it's clearly not. Unless I'm just so unfamiliar with metric system that this actually is 5 centimeters tall. I have more Katamari music here, right? Let's find some more. Here we go. Ah, yes, one of my favorites. Yeah, I don't know if anybody heard about the Twitch stuff. There was some Twitch kerfuffle earlier today. Kind of headline news, at least in certain circles. But in the end, it did make me kind of happy that I more or less switched from Twitch to streaming on YouTube. I could potentially go back there sometime in the future. It just wasn't a good option for the time. But yeah, if you didn't hear, somebody hacked Twitch very hard. Like, basically as hard as you can hack any service and their backend and source code. Like, it's bad for Twitch. This is very bad news for Twitch. But basically, yeah, somebody posted on 4chan claiming to be the person who hacked Twitch, and they said they posted a magnet link to a torrent that was, I think, 128 gigs, which for a torrent is very large, because the whole point of a torrent is you compress the files to be a smaller size, and then you kind of unpack them on your PC. Anyway, so this person, we don't know who they are, of course, because 4chan's anonymous, and they did something very illegal, so they're going to stay anonymous as much as they can. Hacked Twitch. They hacked their backend. And they started leaking some of it. So this first torrent has some of the leak. It's like part of the Twitch source code, which seems to be legitimate according to reports from other people. And they also hacked some stuff regarding like privacy and user information, especially user information for actual streamers. So now people just have this info about all these different streamers, all these different users. You could potentially break into someone's account if they didn't like patch it up and change the password quick enough, if they don't have like 2-factor authentication going on. Anyway, it's just big news right now. I just thought it was kind of funny because I did stream briefly on Twitch for this a couple months back. And I don't think my information's in any kind of danger. It was just basic account information. I changed the password and everything, so it's cool. But I did think it was kind of funny. And yeah, the hacker did kind of get on their high horse and said like, oh, this is because Twitch is a toxic, awful place. I'm paraphrasing. And we want more competition in the streaming space, like the live streaming space. And, Amazon via Twitch kind of just has a de facto monopoly on it right now. So we'll see. We'll see if that leaking of the source code does anything. I would have a hard time believing that another like startup would use a lot of the source code straight up. Like, openly. I feel like you'd have to change some stuff because otherwise people will recognize that it's the Twitch source code. I don't know. I'm not a programmer, obviously, but I did find it interesting, and I was kind of looking into a little bit. Some people have done some good breakdowns of like how it happened potentially. And sorry if I'm rambling, but yeah, one of the most interesting and potentially worrying things about this hack is that, you know, Twitch is Amazon, Amazon is Twitch, and if it was apparently this easy and straightforward to hack into Twitch, it might also mean that Amazon security is just as easy to break into. And that would be potentially like earth shaking. If someone like pulled off a successful hack of Amazon and scraped private user information from Amazon, the, you know, massive e-commerce site that basically everyone uses in the Western world, that would be a big deal. That would be a situation for Amazon to deal with, and potentially really hurt their whole deal. I don't know. So it's a bit of a thing. Waterproof Given is saying that's crazy. Yeah, it's really something. It is kind of interesting to look into, like if you care at all about like you know, data security, security systems, stuff like that. And again, I'm not a programmer, but I am vaguely interested in that. And also, I can't, you know, give many details about my day job, my actual work. But through my job, I have worked with several people who are cybersecurity specialists. So these people do like audits of, you know, big companies and tell them where there are holes in their security, stuff like that. Pretty cool job, and it pays pretty well too. But anyway, through talking to them as part of my job, I've gotten to learn some really interesting things about that landscape. And one of the most interesting things that they told me is that, you know, data cybersecurity is one thing, and like there have been some incredible advances of keeping people from getting into your backend through hacking, the way we think of hacking now. But now hackers or people who want to grab people's information are moving away from that kind of like, you know, programming based hacking stuff, network based hacking stuff, I suppose. And they're now moving towards the area of social engineering, which just means like tricking people into giving up their information, essentially, right? So that can be like phishing emails. You know, that's the bulk of it, I think, or like social media stuff. Yeah, tricking people into giving up their information to illegitimate sources who are pretending to be a company, a legitimate company. Very interesting stuff. But yeah, I think that's apparently the direction hacking is going in terms of getting personal information. We've also seen over the last year especially cyber attacks where they'll hold like companies' data for ransom, and the company owners and employees can't even get into their own system because hackers have locked it off, right? And they'll say, we're ransoming this for millions of dollars, pay us the money, or we leak this info and you'll never be able to get back in. Interesting, terrible thing to do. And yeah, there's some firms or groups out in Eastern Europe and Russia who are doing this professionally and would like brag about it. Like, yeah, no, we did this and you need to have better security and take care of the data. But in the meantime, we have made literally tens of millions of dollars by hacking these companies and holding their data essentially for ransom. And in fact, there's even a really cool New Yorker article that was a sort of a profile of a guy who negotiates with companies who are holding data for ransom. So he's kind of like, yeah, he's kind of like the, you know, the police negotiator guy. Yeah, it was pretty neat. It was really cool to hear about that stuff. Obviously, it's really terrible that any of it's happening, and no one wants their stuff to get hacked. But yeah, pretty cool to hear about. Sorry that I've been rambling about this for a while too, but I did want to say very briefly that if you haven't already checked whether one or more of your accounts has been hacked, this isn't a sponsorship even, it's completely free. But there's a site called something like Have I Been Pwned or something like that. If you search for it, you'll find it. But yeah, you just put in like, you know, your email address or something. you don't sign in, of course, but like, yeah, you just give them an account name or username, and they search the internet to see if your data has been compromised and like potentially sold off to someone else. And that's very important to do. So please check that if you haven't, because there have been so many massive data breaches over the last several years that like, even if you didn't notice it, your information might have been stolen and sold to someone else. So please be careful about that. I check it every once in a while just to try to be sure, but it just happens. I think we're pretty much done with this level. We'll go to the next one. Anyway, that's cybersecurity. That's cybersecurity and Twitch. And yeah, on top of that, so one of the things is that people were freaking out how through this Twitch leak, you could essentially get pretty precise information about how much specific streamers make each month, their Twitch income, and at the same time, like there are other ways where you could calculate that without having personal information and like super private stuff from Twitch. But yeah, it's like, yeah, people who are big on that site, they make quite a lot of money, just like other, big influencers on other platforms, of course, but like they make some serious cash. They absolutely do. So not too surprising, but people now have like very specific numbers about specific streamers. Private information, they shouldn't have that, but like it's out there now. It's out there. Hugo says last week last week tonight had episodes. He talks about this, even says that you don't have to be good. You can just buy programming on the dark net. Ooh, interesting. That makes sense though. I also know that you can flat out buy like people's personal information on the dark web, or through Tor browser and all that kind of stuff. If you know the right sites to go to, you can potentially buy people's like credit card information that's been stolen. You can get like, potentially doxing information about specific people. All terrible stuff. Terrible, extremely illegal stuff. Fraud, identity theft, awful things that nobody should do. But yeah, it's out there, and at the same time, it's kind of risky if you want to try to buy some of that information, because it could be completely fake, because you're on the unregulated dark web on some, shady site trying to sell you personal information. It could all be completely fake, and you could spend all this money on it and just end up with nothing. Oh my gosh, yeah. Dark web stuff is kind of fascinating. I don't want to give it too much credence, just because so many awful things happen there too. And I don't know. After a while, it kind of feels like the terrible thing where people get like legitimately fascinated by serial killers and almost start to hero worship them. And it's like, no, like, yeah, it is interesting kind of to see, people with serious issues, psychological issues, and their very specific process of doing horrible things. I get that. I get why there's so many true crime documentaries and stuff now. But like at the same time, I don't want to accidentally idolize it. Do you know what I mean? So the dark web is like, yes, it's neat, it's very interesting, but yeah, I don't want to get into it too much. Actually, here's a fun fact. Here's an Easter egg for anybody who's here live, or for anybody listening to or watching the stream archive later on. Here's a fun GL Easter egg if you want to try to find me in a TV show. So I live in LA, and every once in a while, at least a few years ago, I would do like tapings for different shows and stuff, right? I'd be in the studio audience for a different show, right? I did several episodes of At Midnight back in the day when that was still a thing, and Chris Hardwick still had any kind of clout or respectability. I did a few other shows, and then, but specifically one time I was on a show that I don't even think exists anymore, but it was a show from Moshe Kasher. He is a comedian. He's a stand-up comedian. He's pretty good. I've seen him do stand-up a couple times. And he's married to another comedian whose name I forget, and I'm so sorry, because she's also a really wonderful stand-up. But Anyway, so he had this show on Comedy Central that was supposed to be like kind of real talk, like we're going to get a studio audience here, we're going to get like good panelists, and we're going to talk about like difficult subjects that other shows don't want to talk about, right? Sort of edgy, right? Uh, and anyway, so I wound up going to this taping. I think the show got canceled after one season, but and I don't remember the name, but if you just look around for Moshe Kasher's projects, you'll find it. Um, Anyway, so a friend of mine invited me. He's like, "Oh, she said, I got these tickets, or spot essentially for this taping. Do you want to go? We got two of them, right? We just show up, everything's free. You just find parking, right? So we went, and it was okay. The show itself was fine. The set was kind of interesting. They tried to have it like in the round, so you have a bunch of seats around a central stage that was very small. So I guess people were supposed to feel involved in the discussion, even though there was no like audience participation. Anyway, this is becoming a long story, but the taping that I went to, the episode, the subject was the dark web, dark net stuff. And the panelists were one guy he was an Australian hacker guy. Who was pretty cool and had a lot to say. He had a lot of interesting things to say about the technical side of Tor and all that kind of stuff. And then one of the other panelists was Hannibal Buress, the stand-up comedian, who's pretty good. I like him too. But yeah, anyway, so I'm in the audience in that episode, and I think I'm on camera a couple times, pretty briefly, just because we were like 2 rows back from the stage. So we were definitely on a couple different cameras when they were switching around. And not that anybody, you can find what I look like online anyway. But in case you're curious and want to try to take a guess, you could technically find me in the background of that episode. It was all right. The taping was a little bit long, and it can be kind of weird when there's a lot of audience coaching, like when they're really encouraging people to, clap and laugh and stuff and be very energetic. It can be kind of tiring. But that was kind of fun. That was a fun time. Yeah, that show's definitely dead. I think I would have heard about it if it kept up. Yeah, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, I think covers a lot of that ground. And I also got the impression that show is much more well researched. I don't know, it's just an impression. I didn't work on these shows. This is Eternal 3. It's one of the last levels you play in the game where you're making the moon, and I love it. I love not having the time limit, and there's so much to do in this level. I wish they would re-release the second Katamari game for Switch and anything else, really, because it's really good. Although the second Katamari game does not have Eternal mode, so everything always has the time limit or the weird stipulations. And I don't enjoy that as much, really. Oh no, the train got me. Such a good soundtrack too. My gosh. I'm gonna go up here. Did I already go up here? No, I didn't. Get those cars. Yeah. Cool. Pretty good, pretty good. Oh, losing stuff. Hugo says yes, they have a whole team for Last Week Tonight. Yeah. Yeah, they have a big like research team and stuff, and then they have the writers who are thrown in the jokes, and all that kind of stuff. It's a whole big thing. It's a big operation. Yeah. Sure, it pays well though. It's HBO, right? Yeah, it's actually not that hard to get. Well, relatively speaking, it's not that hard to get a job writing for a Netflix show because they have so much stuff, and the jobs don't pay as much as like writing on a major network show or I don't know, like a feature film. You're not going to make that kind of money at all. But yeah, I just see listings for that all the time out here in Southern California. It's just like, yeah, Netflix needs some writers. You do any writing? Do some screenwriting. Work on the show. I think it'd be kind of fun. I don't have a portfolio to point to for that. I'm not a screenwriter exactly, but although I do, well, I say that I've been. I don't know why I even need to bring this up, but it's never going to surface. But I have been writing a screenplay for fun And I specifically think that it would be perfect for Melissa McCarthy. And I'm not a huge fan of Melissa McCarthy's work. She's funny. She's a good comedic actor. So she has done some cool stuff. Generally speaking, I'm not a big fan of the movie she's in. But I think that this would work really well for her as a dramatic movie. Like, I think it would legitimately be a good opportunity for her to show off her acting chops. So if anybody has any connections to Melissa McCarthy, like a couple degrees of separation, or if somebody knows her agent or something, maybe let me know. I might want to toss that screenplay over their way. Probably won't read it, but I'd like to take a shot. I think it would be very good for her. If that's the direction she wants to take her career. Like, sometimes comedic actors will kind of take a turn at a certain point and like, oh, I want to show off that I'm a dramatic actor. Like, who do we have? Jim Carrey did that. Eternal Sunshine. He did some other, more dramatic stuff. Robin Williams did plenty of. Oh, he was just a great actor too, but he did a lot of dramatic stuff later on, right up to the end, actually. Very sad. And who else did that? I just had him in mind too. Who else has done the more serious stuff? I just can't think of it right now. But anyway, I just think that's a comedy actor's thing, especially when you're on a really, you have the status of like a Jim Carrey or a Robin Williams. I haven't watched Eternal Sunshine for a while. That could be good. That movie, man. That movie. Oops, come on. Oh no. Give me all that stuff back. That's the worst, when you just get stuck on something and you start losing everything all at once. Ooh, got the houses. This is going well. Trees. Oh, the house is still too big. Come on. Anyway, what has everybody been watching? I don't even know how many viewers we have right now. Maybe one or two. But what have people been watching lately? Anything. Movies, shows, animated, live action, anything at all. Let me know. I'm just curious of what's hot right now. What people are really into. So please let me know. Hugo says she did the Starling in the show Nine Perfect Strangers. Melissa McCarthy. Those are more dramatic stuff. Yeah, she also did that. What was that one? It was like, fake author comedy drama thing. That was a couple years ago. What was that title? It was kind of a distinctive title. Idol, You're the Worst One. No. I don't know. Yeah, she's done some more dramatic stuff. I like Mine. It's also almost a horror movie, but kind of not. I think it would be very good, so I'll have to find out who represents her. I don't think I could just send the script right to Melissa McCarthy. That's not cool. Oh, I'll only get the small boats right now. $8, I don't know. I'm still feeling good. Yeah, I'll probably stream until like 8:30, I guess. 8:30 my time, another half hour or so. But yeah, this has been a good one. I think this has been a more relaxed stream. There's some days where you're not really feeling it, so it's a bit more difficult to stay on for a long time. But this has been nice. I'm pretty good with this. Yeah. There we go. It's one of my favorite parts. When you get to this size, you're really picking stuff up. Waterproof Gibbon says, I finished Ozark last week and binged Squid Game this week. Is Ozark the no, it's not. I was gonna ask if Ozark is the I'll just look it up. I was gonna ask if Ozark is the weird like Jason Bateman Breaking Bad show. I don't think it is though, right? Crime drama. Yes, it is. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I never ended up watching it. I'm also not a big fan of Breaking Bad. I know they're different too. Like they're very different shows at this point. But is it still running? Is Ozark like still active? That's a Netflix original, right? But yeah, I've heard good things. People seem to like it. I have some friends who recommend it. And what else is mentioned? Been Squid Game. Yeah, a lot of people have been into Squid Game. It's been a big topic. I would like to hear some brief thoughts about Squid Game. I have some of my own thoughts. I haven't finished it, and I don't know if I will, but please feel free to share any impressions, opinions about Squid Game. I definitely have some feelings there, so just go for it. Or forgiveness says, yeah, that's the one. Okay. Oh, why did my music stop? Is this what I had? Oh, I don't want that. I'll start the Katamari soundtrack over again. That's what the game does anyway. Yeah, Ozark I didn't do. Don't tell anybody. Never really watched Breaking Bad. I watched a tiny bit and hated it, so I stopped watching it. I will maybe watch it eventually and try to take it seriously. No, around that time though, my AMC show was Mad Men. I love Mad Men. I really love Mad Men. I like rewatching certain stuff. I think it's kind of great most of the time. Here we go. Oh, we're getting all this. We're getting whole cities now. Whole boroughs. Oh, I'm really good. Okay, I don't need to do the bridge, but I like doing the bridge if I can. Yeah. Hugo said, says Korea is suing Netflix over Squid Game. Also, Breaking Bad was just an okay show. I think I would agree with that. I saw it just to talk to people at work with, but it wasn't that good. Interesting. Okay. I've heard that from a few people, but the vast majority of people I know seem to love Breaking Bad to death. But hold on, Hugo. We need to back up, and I think I need a little bit more information about Korea suing Netflix over Squid Game. What is that about? So I know it's a Netflix original series, but usually with international content, that just means that they have the distribution rights for like Western countries. It doesn't necessarily mean that they originally funded the project, as opposed to like, BoJack Horseman or something like that. That's 100% Netflix original, so it is kind of a confusing term sometimes. But I'm very curious now. What does that mean? They're suing it for, but it's a Korean production originally, right? Please tell me more, because I can't really look it up right now. Oh, nope, come on, out of the water. Okay. Hugo says they broke the internet in Korea. Oh, so there was just like a ton of demand to watch the show or something like that? So that messed everything up? Gibbon says final season of Ozark is going to be out at some point. Okay, so it's wrapping up. Okay. I watched it because Julia Garner is in it. It's a decent series, I suppose. I also never got into Breaking Bad. Tried episodes, one of it wasn't for me. Yeah, no, I think I maybe did 2 or 3 episodes total of Breaking Bad before I was like, no thanks. And maybe part of it is that I just wasn't in the mood for it at the time. And also it had already been overhyped for me because the show had wrapped up by that point, and everyone had had the conversations. Everyone got excited about the finale and was, talking about it. But yeah, but no, I don't do these days. Especially, I really don't get into a lot of big, massive prestige event TV shows and streaming shows. Game of Thrones, I never really did. But yeah, now there's so many of them, and there's so many shows trying to be like, whoa, this is so deep and interesting and philosophical. Which is ultimately, I think it's a positive thing, but there's so much of it that I just don't even bother after a certain point, especially when they start to feel the same. That's kind of how I felt about Westworld. After a while, I kept up with season 1 mostly. But after a while, I was like, okay, yeah, there's going to be some big mind-blowing twist, and then it'll change our perspective on the show and its characters, and there'll be these big developments, there'll be deaths, and I was like, I don't need that again. I've gotten that in the past from other shows. Like, give me something different. So yeah, some of the more prestige stuff, I just tend to not even start it, you know. Like White Lotus, I think White Lotus kind of falls into that category. I saw the very first episode because a friend wanted to show me, and I didn't hate it. I think it's pretty neat. I like Mike White. I think he's a pretty good screenwriter and kind of an interesting person. So I would maybe visit it on HBO Max, check it out. But yeah, it's just those other things. It's like it feels so heavy and weighty, and you really got to pay attention and all this stuff. I'm not always in the mood for that. That's all. Yeah. I wouldn't mind more like comedy series. Just do a bunch of those, as long as they're not the terrible Family Guy style, cheap animation, you know, animated sitcom stuff. I hate it. I hate it almost all of the time. But other than that, yeah, animated sketch show, that would be kind of cool. We get a lot of comedy sketch shows these days. Yeah, there's a lot to do, but I just don't feel like, despite all there is, I don't always feel a breadth of variety, I guess. Yeah. Oh, can't get that bridge for a while. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Exponential growth, you know. As long as we have stuff to pick up. Okay. Ooh, get these rain island things. Oh, rocket ship. Yes, please. Oh, I love when you're catching the islands, too. It's the best. Oh, here we go. Hugo says, so the ISP, the Internet Service Provider, are suing Netflix because of the heavy load on the service, I assume. The news doesn't say, but the country has the internet as a utility, so all the old houses can get it. Okay, so it's just like common, it's just like electric, gas stuff. Okay, interesting. And yeah, I guess it was just too much of a demand. But you know what? Like, even if they end up having to pay something out as a result of that lawsuit, which I don't know if they would be held liable for that or not. But they could very easily use this as marketing, right? I'm sure they're already doing it. Like, the fact that this is a story at all is automatic PR, positive PR for Netflix, because it's like, wow, this show is so popular. We literally broke the internet in Korea. So, and Squid Game is, yeah, Squid Game. I don't know. I don't think I would make a video about Squid. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer about Squid Game, except in my personal life, where I definitely do talk some trash about it. Da da da, ba ba ba, da 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 ba da, ba ba da, da ba ba da ba, ba ba ba, da 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 da. Ooh, I can't get the bridge. Got the big bridge. Love it. Yes. Wow, this level's just about swept up. cleaned it right up, didn't we? Hugo says they might lose the lawsuit and have to pay. Yeah, I don't think it would even put a dent. Like I don't imagine the amount would be too crazy for it. Just I mean the sheer amount. They're obviously doing everything with deficit spending, and they're spending so much money on programming, original programming, that like I think they would maybe they even set aside money for this, you know, for these kinds of contingencies, which is sort of related to a story I heard from a voice actor a while back. Where he was trying to describe like just how sleazy, you know, like producers and production companies can be sometimes. And he said basically like sometimes, you know, producers and, you know, the production companies will pay people so little money that like they basically expect someone to try to sue at some point. So they set money aside to, you know, for the legal counsel to handle all those lawsuits, and they'll probably win. They get these expensive lawyers and stuff. But yeah, it's basically like they just try to take advantage of people as much as they possibly can while they can still get away with it. And when they don't get away with it, they have like a backup plan already in place because they know they're doing skeezy stuff. And not that this is skeezy necessarily. I'm not trying to say Netflix is doing something outwardly wrong here. I don't know all the details. But I would not be surprised at all if Netflix was just happy to eat that cost and then just... you know, put out a big press release, get a bunch of stories written about them, and just be like, yeah, we're fine. We're fine. He was saying estimated $4.7 billion US. Okay, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what their budgeting is. I don't know if they would care or not. I also don't... I guess it would be in a Korean court, right? Because that's where the jurisdiction is? Anyway, could be vaguely interesting to follow that story. But at this point, it just kind of sounds funny to me, especially for Squid Game. Like, really, Squid Game. Wow, that's the level. Look at that. We did it. I think we're good. Well, gosh, yeah, I think that's just about everything for the stream today. I have to eat dinner or something, just eat something. But anyway, yeah. Before I hop off, I mean, as usual, thank you so much to everyone who came out for the stream live. Everybody in the chat. Thank you to people watching the archive stream later on. I've probably tried to express this before, but yeah, when you're running a really small channel like mine, it's kind of difficult to explain just how great it feels when people actually bother showing up for your stuff and when they bother to watch your things and engage with it and talk to you about it. It's very rare. So it's very genuine when I say that I appreciate people coming out for the streams or checking out the videos or anything like that, or recommending stuff to friends. I'm sure you've heard it a million times, but very legitimately it's a big deal. And aside from growing the channel or anything like that, it just feels good, you know, to have people actually looking at your stuff, looking at your work, and yeah, engaging with it in some way. So yeah, thanks again to everybody who's been contributing in that way. And otherwise, yeah, we'll be back next Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And who knows if I'll have another video up before then, but I'll try my best. But other than that, yeah, I hope you have a great rest of the week and a very nice weekend. And I'll see some folks back here next week as well. I think that just about does it. Yeah, cool. All right. Well, that's it for us. And thanks for stopping by.